Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but according to the latest Ross Dellenger story, it looks like NCAA men's basketball tournament expansion is inevitable. Don't love that. Welcome into the channel. I am John Kurtz. Here on this channel, we talk college football, college basketball, and conference realignment all day, every day. This is a place for fans of all college sports leagues. We do give it to you from a Big 12 angle here on this channel, but if you are a college sports fan, a conference realignment nut, this is the place for you. Make sure you check out the live shows that are typically Wednesdays and Sundays. It's a little different this week because of my travel schedule, but I promise you Wednesdays and Sundays are typically in the evenings when you're going to get those live shows with a ton of college sports fans from across the country. They are a blast. Make sure you are a part of them. Subscribe, click that bell so you know when it is that I am going live. Also, like the video. Totally free way to support the channel. I would appreciate it a lot. And let me know in the comments what you think about all this. Are you in favor? I'm curious. Are you in favor of NCAA tournament expansion? Maybe I'm off on this. Let me know in the comments whether or not you agree or disagree with that. Crazy part here is, we are obviously Brett Yormark stands for the most part on this channel. I guess I can only speak for myself. I certainly, in large part, not always, but in large part, stand for Brett Yormark and the work that he has done for this conference, but I don't love that he seems to be pushing for this, which is expanding the NCAA basketball tournament. Ross Dellenger wrote an article that encompassed a lot of ground. Man, college football playoff expansion, what's going on there, the men's basketball tournament expansion, what could be happening there, and just the bigger picture future of the NCAA. But I'm going to read to you from his section about the NCAA tournament. So he says the Big 12 and the ACC believe they'll be a part of the creation of a new athlete compensation model. Of course, further deregulation from NCAA governance. Not surprising. They also, Big 12 and ACC, expect to be a part of the overhaul of the college football playoff revenue distribution model, governance structure, and perhaps even format. Yes, yes, yes. All of that makes sense. But listen to the way this is worded. The third bullet point here under things that the Big 12 and the ACC expect to be a part of is, quote, the inevitable expansion of the NCAA men's basketball tournament. Inevitable. Ross Dellenger is calling it very early on here, inevitable expansion of the NCAA men's basketball tournament. It kills me a bit inside. It is perfect right now. 64 is great. We don't need to water this down. We don't need to water this down. It is... Who has any complaint about the NCAA tournament and what it is right now? It is absolutely wonderful. That's why it is such a profitable entity for the NCAA. We all love it. We all watch it. That is a killer, man. Dellenger continues here, but football aside, these two conferences believe that they are entitled to, at the very least, a strong say in the future of the men's basketball tournament. Again, an event destined for change. That's another line about this. An event destined for change. Quote, the industry is going through a reset. Yormark said everything is on the table for consideration. Look, I agree because of the basketball prowess of the Big 12. And while the ACC right now is not where the Big 12 is at, they certainly historically have all of that with Tobacco Road. They should get a pretty big say in what is going to happen. I just wish that say was like, hey, guys, don't mess up a good thing here, chasing some extra dollars. Over the last 3 weeks, at two separate meetings, high-ranking college leaders took the initial step in exploring significant change to both the NCAA men's basketball tournament and the college football playoff. We knew that the playoff discussions were happening. I had no idea that they were talking about the NCAA tournament and expansion there. In a meeting in Washington, D.C. in January, commissioners of the SEC, Big 10, ACC, Big 12, and yes, even the Pac-12 open dialogue with Charlie Baker from the NCAA about their wish to examine NCAA tournament expansion. Separately, in a meeting of the Playoff Management Committee in Dallas on February 5th, Big 10 and SEC leaders opened dialogue with the other 8 FBS commissioners and Notre Dame on their intent to see the playoff revenue distribution model and voting structure change. We'll talk plenty more about that. Make sure you stay subscribed. But here with the tournament, well, the Power Leagues team together to push the NCAA to grow the basketball tournament. The two richest leagues are joining forces to modify its football counterpart. All right, again, let me get back on track here. A seasoned New York businessman and former talent agency exec, Brett Yormark views the moves as the next phase of college athletics evolution into a more robust business. In the business world, it's referred to as the value equation. You ready to learn a little business, folks? Value equation. And this is what Yormark means by it. Quote, if you can contribute more, you want more, he told Yahoo Sports. I think that spirit came into both rooms, and I think it's very appropriate. All right, making the point. Big Ten and the SEC contribute more to the playoff. They want more of it. Big 12 and the ACC feel like they contribute more to the basketball tournament. They want more of it. That's the general idea there. The basketball tournament is the NCAA's largest and most vital revenue stream, keeping afloat the organization itself, as well as helping subsidize hundreds of small college athletic departments. As part of a tournament TV deal with CBS and Turner running through 2032, the NCAA distributes annually $700 million to its schools, both in base amounts and units earned through advancing in the event. The 5 major football conferences plus basketball power Big East normally earn most of that, with more than $200 million worth of incentive units for wins in the tournament. For instance, those 6 conferences were responsible for winning about 70% of the available units last year. However, discussions between the commissioners and the NCAA go beyond the topic of revenue and also include the growing wish for more access in the form of at-large spots, because what more do we need but more bubble teams, more NIT teams from Power 5 conferences getting into the NCAA tournament? That's exactly what we need and what everybody is dying to see. In the meeting with Baker, commissioners were transparent about their desire for more access in a 68-team field that includes 32 automatic qualifying spots, 27 of which go to non-power leagues. Guys, look, I get it. And I want the Big 12 to push for anything and everything that is going to get them more money and be better for them. And if it's you feel like you would be getting more of the units, right? More of the money coming back, and that can help the conference. I get it. You'd have even more teams in your league on TV, assuming that people still watch the tournament at the clip that they did before. But that would be a question I have. Would they? Because we love the upsets. We love the mid-majors. We love the teams that come in and spoil things in March. And that's not as cool when it's a team that would have been in the NIT out of the ACC. That's not as cool as when it's a conference champion from a lower level league. So I am leery of this, even though I do trust Yormark. I want him to go for anything that's going to be good for the Big 12, and they need to be trying to cling to anything they can right now, because that's what's happening with football in the Big 10 and the SEC on the other side. I get it. I understand it's not as simple as I was making it out to be a little bit earlier with my frustrations, but still, it is such a great thing. Why do we have to do this? Brett Yormark, here's a quote from him. Quote, I want to see the best teams competing for a national championship, no different than the Big Ten and the SEC want to see in football. I'm not sure that is currently happening. If your point is you're not sure that the best teams are playing for the national championship every year in college basketball, your point would be 6 games is too much, right? And the whole idea of this tournament weeds out too many really good teams because there's just so much that so much can happen in 6 games. That would be the argument. It's not that teams that are not making the tournament aren't having a chance to compete. Who thinks that teams in the NIT are being shut out of like a legitimate chance to compete? This is not the top 4 in the college football playoff where you can make an argument, hey, maybe like 5 or 6, like Georgia this year would have had a chance to legit compete for the national title. I don't know. I don't agree with that logic if you're going to take it at face value anyway. How to expand the tournament is a lingering question, Yormark and Phillips acknowledged. Jim Phillips from the ACC. Do you eliminate automatic qualifying spots to small conference champs? That move is sure to backfire politically at a time when congressional help is sought. Do you simply add more at-large spots to the field? That complicates an already crammed schedule. And again, to me, waters it down. You start to water it down. And if you expand the men's event, would the women's tournament need expansion too? Interesting question there, and that just puts even more work on your plate. Commissioners described Charlie Baker at the NCAA as understanding and receptive to their points, paving the way for future modifications. All right, inevitable. We've seen that a couple times now, and here we're seeing that Charlie Baker, head of the NCAA, is understanding and receptive to these points. So that fuels, again, that whole idea. Quote, we talked with President Baker specifically about the basketball tournament and that we do expect and want a holistic review, said Phillips, whose league has won more basketball titles in the last 22 years than any other conference. As it relates to value and contribution, I think we all believe it's important and should be considered. Okay, there's a loaded update on the NCAA men's basketball tournament. I guess I would just say enjoy the tournament in its current form while you can, because we may be adding more. I certainly hope we're not removing more Cinderellas from it, but it looks like from there, like if we're getting more teams added, it's going to be with a heavy tilt toward making sure some of these NIT teams from Power 5 leagues are in the tournament. Look, and I say all of this as a fan of a team that right now is on the wrong side of the bubble, okay? I'm saying that right now that I don't love this on its face, but in your mark we trust, I suppose. We shall see and continue to monitor that. Make sure that you are subscribed here so you get the updates. Check in on the live shows, which are typically on Wednesdays and Sundays. I will not be doing a live show this Wednesday because of my travel schedule, but promise it will get back to normal next week. Like the video. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are you for this? Are you against this? How do you feel about NCAA tournament expansion? And I will talk to you guys all soon. Thanks for being here.